I think that they can the game here. They have all 5 members here, and that's yeah. I think it's gonna be it.
Oh, the arrow.
The arrow.
Goes wide.
Yeah.
Really watching who you're doing at this point. He's all alone just watching it happen. Gonna throw down redemption, not gonna be enough. And now we'll be game number 1 finally. Goes over to Eureka.
Alright, well, you could probably hear the cheers from the crowd for Eureka. That was a game that looked completely lost for them. It looked completely hopeless. You could see that they didn't have a real response to deal with Kongu's front line and that juggle from the Tom Kent and the Nautilus. And then Kongu Monsters, in a bizarre spin, just completely throw the game in a matter of 30 seconds. I have no words for what I just witnessed right leading up to that.
I mean, they were playing quite well up until that point. I mean, they were getting so much vision down. They were using their comp. I mean, you know, you were talking about the macro stuff that they weren't quite doing.
Well early on, the early phases with the vision control, basically playing with map hack, keeping all tabs on locally. But the real problem is they didn't have any pro. Like, let us be honest for a second here, that they had a Rise, a Tom Kent, and Nautilus teleport available. There was no usage of a 1-3-1. There was no split push mechanics.
Còn mình không nặng vào á. Không phải là ta ba. Không nặng vào á. Ta bắt đẩy đi không cúng ấy. Ta bắt đẩy. Một tuần rồi nó còn cá con.
I don't even know how to feel about this right now.
He seems to be at a loss of words, especially watching that replay again. I suppose just under the pressure they cracked. They brought it to very, very close, and they were actually ahead of a freak at that point. But either way, guys, we are going to go to a 2-minute break before we get to the analyst test between games. Okay, my mic was off there. Welcome back, guys, to the analyst desk. It's Valdez with Binu once again. Gonna jump into the recap of what exactly happened in game number 1.
Conclusively, it looks like the Freak of Freaks basically had the upper hand, at least the Dragons make it look like it, but really, it was all about that endgame chaos that went down right in front of the Baron. Who would have guessed that was going to happen?
You can see that Soul was desperately trying to carry his team, but not quite able to. As LS did point out, they didn't seem to have a full grasp of what their composition was capable of in the macro sense. They really didn't abuse it even one time.
And you really have to feel for Soul because even domestically, he's this player that's being really, focused on as the backbone of this Kongbu Monster team, right? I think a popular nickname that's going around the community is that Kongbu Monsters is actually Soul and the Boys. But
Soul and the Boys.
In all seriousness, he looked really good on that Jhin, and I don't know. With Kongbu Monsters, sometimes it's like they're winning until they aren't, and you're just left with this question, like, how did they lose?
Yeah. So let's see what the analysts have to say about this.
And everyone kind of talking about the ambiguous nature of the conclusion of that game, I think. Kanata even suggesting, we know that Afrika did win, but he feels like they might have some doubts. They're not maybe like too confident. They're not maybe too comfortable with the, content of that game from start to finish. But right now, it looks like we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from that first set.
And this is the big highlight. Baron, they left it at 3K. You can see both able to restart that one at about 6.9. And just a huge mistake. They take the Rise ultimate on in. I mean, mistakes just abound in everything. And they just get totally routed. Everybody going different directions. Afrika is kind of doing what they had to, nothing really special, right?
I really like how they just skipped everything else and just went for the final play, right? It's almost as if they're saying, yeah, that's all you need to know about this game, pretty much.
And that was a fantastic job by Tushin to make sure that he did take out Edge there. And nice play by Kramer too. Soul, I feel like he was out of position. And after something like that happens, you have to feel like his mentality is just crushed, so.
A couple of questions regarding the MVP too, because if Kongbu Monster won, it wouldn't even be a question. Soul would get it, but who gets it now? Afrika did take that game.
Well, we're about to find out. It's going to be Kuro or Cassiopeia. Interesting choice. I mean, he did a lot of damage, I suppose. And was part of the reason why the Mariners burned down so fast, but I don't really know. Seemed like a pretty standard game.
You sound like you have someone else in the room.
Not really, that's the only thing. Like Marn, he got caught out a bunch of times, made things pretty hard for his team. Kramer wasn't doing really consistent damage. Mobley had like a pretty, it wasn't a flashy game, it wasn't, and I guess that's where you eventually arrive at Kuro, where it's like, oh, he had like a pretty solid game, better than the rest. So he's the MVP, quote unquote, but he's not really, it's not like he had a super flashy or fantastic game.
Now, Ilya is pointing to his shoulder saying, looks like, I believe they're talking about Soul, looks like there's a heavy load on Soul's shoulders in the next game.
He's got to put the team on his back now.
Now, Kanata saying, on the bright side, Kongbu Monster did kind of show flashes of brilliance. It feels like even though they were down a lot of dragons, even though they were kind of playing catch-up at different points in the game, they were trying things, and he sees that pretty positively. And again, contextually speaking, coming back from IEM, Helio says he was slightly impressed. They definitely did a little bit better than he expected.
So we are going to be going into game 2 right away, guys, in just about 2 minutes. We'll be back with KDM versus Afrika for game 2. LCK 2017 Spring. Speed LS and LS were in the midst of KDM, Holy Monster versus the Africa Freaks. Goro able to pick up the MVP, being number one in what was a ultra passive game.
That is an understatement for what that game just was. And honestly, it was one of the, as I was saying right before we went to the analyst next break, it was one of the most bizarre turn of events I've ever witnessed in pro play, where the game looked like it was all but impossible for Africa to somehow get a win or edge anywhere, even with the upcoming Elder Dragon, because at that point in the game, Kondu would have been at 5-6 items across all of their champions. And it just looked like the composition was going to be immune to anything Africa would try to throw at it. But then somehow the impossible did happen. They left the Baron with 5,000 HP, and then they gave him another, cherry on top as they poured it into the pit. But in a very peculiar spin of events, Kondu's macro just was not there, it was completely absent. But the early game was really strong. So coming into game number 2, how about step away from the macro and just go balls to the wall, aggressive, and then maybe try to edge out some sort of a victory that way.
We'll see how they want to start it off here. Africa this time is on the blue side. And they're going to start with Comcast. They're like, no, we're not going to allow you to do that.
That was banned. We're not letting that get away. And mostly kept in, actually. Surprising. And LeBlanc now being probably going to be banned away here by Kondu.
It's funny that
unless they let it up, LeBlanc, it has to be thought of as maybe, Kondu monsters, they would want to try something aggressive like that.
It's funny that Africa bans the Rengar. They're like, no, we weren't happy with the Rengar play. We're just going to take that away from you. It's not happening. Put them on Greaves instead. Rise is the third ban for Africa.
And Camille now being covered. Very quick pick ban phase has unfolded here. Rengar taken off the table, that mostly only leaves the lease as a normal response to the Graves. Jace now being covered, he might be locked in here.
Yeah, pretty much immediately. It seemed like they were pretty confident about that. There's that leash you were talking about.
So now Africa, knowing that Jace is most likely only going to be put into the mid lane for Ocean. Let's be honest, he doesn't play anything but tank up in top. You don't have to worry about that Jace being flexible.
Africa now highlighting the Ashe.
And with no top catch and the soft counter against Jin in the bot lane, you pick up the Ashe. You also get Zyra. So both Kramer and Tushin are going to be playing the same champs this time around.
And it's really interesting because it looks like Freak Freaks, they don't want to give too much away until they know exactly what they're up against. The Jin now coming out does show a lot of physical damage on Kongdu's side. And now this enables Afrika to actually target support picks if they want to do that. In the second ban phase here, with Tom already having been banned away, there's only 2 options remaining. Karma, Misfortune. Echo is banned away. That could signify that Kongdu actually wants to pick up the Syndra, and there's the hover.
Afrika not giving them any hope.
And it is banned away by Afrika. I do like what Kongdu is going for somewhat with the aggression in the jungle and the mid lane, and now Rumble being banned away. Targeting that at Mars does still enable him to have that cannon available to him though up in the top lane.
Very true. What will be the last ban here for Afrika? It's going to be a support. They've already picked their support when they take the Karma away from Kongdu.
So they take the Karma away, and what that ends up doing is basically funnels Kongdu monsters into picking something like the Misfortune. Other than that, the only other options remaining really is going to be like Nami or something abnormal. But if you do pick the MF, which is the standard pick here, it ends up leaving you extremely susceptible. If you look at all of those champions, there's not a lot of disengage. It's basically like they're entirely going to be glass cannon. This is what I was talking about coming into the pick ban phase, that maybe this is just what you have to do.
You gotta shove it down their throats, give it right back to them. And I don't know if it's gonna work out, honestly. I mean, there's a pretty decent amount of disengage already on the side of Afrika. They pick up Malphite as a frontline tank. Corki's got a fantastic disengage for Kuro.
Oh. Brilliant soul. So if you want to be a glass cannon, I think now's the time to do it. And now Roach, though, the real question is going to be, can he play Jace up in the top lane? Because when you think of Roach, you mostly think of only tank champions, very slow, and not really a carry-type player.
So, can he actually make that work? And will this composition that seems pretty risky overall, can it actually work?
Afrika picking basically a no-theme composition. This is something that I was talking about earlier on today on Twitter, where you only can get away with this if you're significantly better than your opponents. Now, Afrika, many would assume and many would argue that they are in fact much better than Kongdu monsters, but the problem with no-theme compositions is that you're forced into very ABC play, and it means that if you fall behind, you only have really one option, and if you get ahead, you only have really one option. And there's not a lot of wiggle room with that, and so they're going to need to stabilize advantages against Kongdu monsters and then just drive it home via Malphite engagements in the mid-game.
We'll see if they can do exactly that as we take one last look at the compositions of both teams. We got Malphite, Graves, Corki, Ashe, Zyra.
And Jace, Elise, Aurelian Soul, Jin, and Misfortune. So lots of potential for aggression across every single lane. We'll have to see what they can do with it. This is what I wanted to see them do.
Yeah, this should make for an exciting game as well. We'll see if it pays off for Kongdu Monster going up against Afrika, game number 2.
Guy's nuts, man. Always yells.
It's good though.
He's so loud. He's a one-man army.
He's the true fan of Kongdu Monster. He's...
What if he is the monster?
He's the monster of the
Kongdu
team.
monster?
They named it after him.
Yeah. What if that's him? in the flesh. We'll never know. But what we do know is that this game not going to be as chaotic as it was in game number 1.
Interesting position here. Right around where they would get hit with the sapling. But they're not beating. They're not beating. Kongdu just fanned out. And I think we've seen Aurelian Soul as a response to Corky in the past. Seems to do pretty well. So, the question is, can Edge play it against Kuro's Corky?
We're going to have a Wraith camp or a Raptor camp start here for Punch. And for Mobley.
Marn wants to help him out a little bit. Oh! Steals
Marn actually stole one. And that doesn't seem that big, but it really actually is. Now I do believe that Marn does get level 2 off the first wave up in top lane, so that's kind of nice.
It'll be important to see that, because he can definitely get a nice bit of damage right before Jace hits level 2. Doesn't look like he's trying to force it though, playing it very safely. Didn't want to eat that damage, but didn't have to.
And not too much really happening early on here. Aurelian Soul can get shot early on, and that can really set the pace towards the laning phase. Lots of nice poke actually coming out of Googer. That was really nice. Very well done by him. And already, I mean, lane starting out pretty good in bottom for Kongdu Monsters.
Mobley looking to put down some of his own wards. Well, actually, hold that thought.
Oh, man.
He's going for the gank here on the Roche. And we could see a flash engage. No, not going to go for the flash. And that should tip Roche off that someone is around, that Mobley's here. And Mobley is just going to settle for the Crux.
Now going to come down and take Skull Crab. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually see him move into the jungle and go for Mobley's golems. Or instead, he could actually potentially wrap around, but Kuro does have the cleanse available. He will have to jungle against 2 stuns, though. Alright, he actually did manage to get all of that. Just looked a little bit funny. Mobley gets the better end of all of this, though. As you can see, Punch now is going to return to a jungle that has nothing inside of it. And now Mobley is going to be able to get 2 golden camps to start off this game, and that's going to propel him to a nice little advantage early on here. As you can see that now his path is going to be basically linear up to the top half of the map. He knows that he doesn't need to be in bottom for much longer. Kramer and Tushin content to just keep farming it out. And what they'll also end up doing is they'll run into Punch on the top half of the map.
Punch looking to jump on into the Gromp. We'll be able to take that out. So no one's there to stop him. Ooh, getting very close. Gets rooted up here. Tushin's going deep. He uses that exhaust, forces the flash away. So that's 2 summoners used by Tushin and no kills.
Overstepping his boundaries just a little bit. Don't know what Roche and Punch are trying to do here. Oh, here comes that.
Okay.
Alright, they're gonna try to 3-man this. MARIN might potentially know if this is actually coming. Really nice setup by Roche. Grooming him for what's about to come.
And you see Punch gonna get that aggro, gonna jump on in, that first blood, giving it a chase as well. Very nicely done.
Really well executed by Kongdu just now. Mobley comes down, gets a ward, but not really going to do too much. He sees Edge running back to the mid lane. See, the Kuro actually has a Sheen now as well, so go for very heavy trades against Edge. Mobley's going to go back to the farm mode. We can see how this game was set up, so 2 hits, pretty easy trajectory for it, and they almost chained it up with Edge, but Roche able to get the kill right at the end. We're gonna have to see what he does with that advantage. Fade first for Rogue, so Black Cleaver is gonna be the item of choice for him. And Edge, also with the boost of Swiftness on that Aurelion Soul, gonna further enable his roaming potential.
Being really annoying with some of this counter jungling. He gave his Gromp on over to Elise, but he goes in there, steals the Raptors, wards the red. That's coming up pretty soon.
Punch and Edge in the meantime immediately responding with the attack onto the mid-tier 1 turret. And I don't know, this is a situation I don't know who shreds quicker. You might assume that the Sheen on Corki would be effective, but seems like both teams are actually backing up a little bit, and it was more effective.
And Aurelion Soul clears the way really fast.
Okay, might be seeing more chaos unfold. Just a second here, MARIN actually on janitor duty in mid lane, having to run straight up here. Very surprising that Punch actually didn't opt to go into the right side jungle and steal away the red buff from Mobley. That hurt him a lot more. Instead opts to go on to the left hand side and compromise Mobley's blue side jungle. So very peculiar jungle path, and you can see now that Mobley is actually heading onto the right-hand side, wants to clear that entire side of the jungle, and this is because this lines up with around the time that Kramer and Tushin are going to be hitting 6. And so Graves would definitely want to be going down to the bottom lane with that red buff on to set up some sort of game.
Well, they're going to steal the blue, they know where Mobley is. So doing well on that front, it's home to. Gotta admire their tenacity, you know. Everybody highlighting, you know, their not so great performance at IEM. They're 1 of 7 so far in LCK, and yeah, they come out here in game number 2. I was expecting them to kind of, you know, crumple like a leaf, but actually they're ahead here to start the game. So props to them. Never give up, never surrender.
And Mobley and Kuro not able to get a steal onto the blue, and I do have to say that it's a little bit peculiar to me that MARIN's able to stay as close in CS as he has been in this game.
Oh. Well, that's rude, but Punch is able to develop in the sky. Nice deadly flourish. Thunderlord's from MF doing a nice bit of damage, and there's the arrow, it goes right on through, but we will get that. Target damage comes down on the Tushin, and he lives. The Crypto will go down to Graves, he will pay for his life. Nice job targeting that plant, will slow it down. It doesn't look like it, one more shot, so close, and he lives. Somehow, some way, Soul is able to stay alive and get the kill. So that's a 2 for 0, and even though Mobley got the blue, it immediately goes over to Soul.
Just a little bit too aggressive and really committing way too much to try to get that blue buff away. It's even going to cost them the first turret of the game. Looks like it's going to be split up between Punch and Edge. And things are looking fantastic right now for Kongu Monsters, and this is the Edge that I was talking about, where they looked like they were significantly better at the early stages of the game. Things just seem to be panning out for them, and so you can see here that Tushin and Kuro, they were right here to get the blue. Tushin didn't really have a target that he could exhaust. Soul flashes over, gets the kill right there, takes the blasting plant, and took Kuro with him, but Kuro wasn't quite in range to catch up. He ended up going down as well.
So Freakin' desperately trying to make something work. They take the red, and they do get out. So at least they get that for their team. But down about 2.3k gold. Freaka really in some danger here.
And just over a 2k gold lead right now. for Congo Monsters. MARIN and Roach not really having the most exciting times up in top, but this is a really nice game setup. Don't like the fact that MARIN pushed that wave though. He could have used it to freeze, and that would have forced Roach to actually come up even closer to get the wave.
Oh, they're gonna flash on in. Roach taking so much damage, will he get away? Flash forward for Mowgli, and there is the kill.
Pick up the kill onto Roach just now. Nice big pressure relief. Meanwhile, at bottom.
Whoa. Getting a little bit too close to that turret, taking aggro and being bopped up by the Zyra. Nice play there by Touche.
Yeah, they just got popped underneath that turret. MARIN gonna be able to pick up top tier 1 here. Kondu might get themselves the Cloud Drake. Not the most exciting dragons tonight in LCK.
Cloud Drake here. Not what they wanted. Weren't looking to party. Oh, okay. Well,
reset.
Yeah. Just a bit. Just pick that up. And with their very aggressive composition, I suppose they can get into position a little bit better.
Again, Congo Monsters, they're still in the lead and they still have a lot of stuff available to them. They also have the fact that MARIN, being forced to itemize all that armor early on, going to be extremely susceptible to the damage that Aurelion Soul and Beast can put out inside a team fight. Top lane being opened up though is a little bit interesting, and normally mid lane would be a real big capture for any team, but I think it's a little bit unique in this scenario, and that Corki is generally someone that lives in the side lanes. And you can see from Afrika's team composition, they're not really going to be one that would go into a siege-like scenario.
Now back down here, you can see this bot lane turret is getting a little bit low. Already the mid turret is gone for Afrika. As might be looking to make the play down bot. We're going to clear out some of the wards at first. Will they actually go for it? They're going to move on to the red buff first as well. It looks like he's identified this, putting down the ward. There's the arrow, immediately going to cleanse away from that one's edge. Punch does get the red buff, hopefully now trying to get over the wall and chase, but will be safe.
Oh, that might be a one-way journey. He does not know what's about to happen.
Oh boy. Let's get the boy's leg pushed just a little bit away. And then Akabon to punch, but he stays alive. Tushin forced to get away. Roach now got to teleport on.
Roach has no mana. Why did he just teleport? Not exactly sure what he was thinking there. That was a very anticlimactic teleport.
Yeah, not able to do much. And so, I mean, both teleports now down at a similar time. Looks like MARIN used his maybe 10 seconds earlier.
Congo Monsters has a little bit of a gold lead right now. Most of that is actually tied up though inside their turret advantage. You just see another replay a few moments ago where you see the Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits onto Cougar and he's locked up inside turret range. Curtain Call didn't really get to finish right there.
Nice response by Tushin to immediately flash onto that. The second he saw that he had tower aggro, he's like, okay, I identified that I can get this kill if I flash on it. Very nice play. Looked like maybe Cougar was looking to block the arrow from hitting Soul as well. Tushin now sitting around here. They may want to jump onto edge if they can land the arrow, and it lands. No cleanse this time around. It's on cooldown, and down he goes.
Really big pickup right now for Afrika on that Aurelion Soul. He's going to draw all of Congo Monsters to mid lane. So you can see pings are happening in top, so they're sending Roach up there temporarily, but a lot of pressure has been created with the death of Aurelion, enabling Afrika to continuously let Mowgli and Kramer farm as much as they please. You see the Cougar wrapped up a little bit on ward coverage, and meanwhile, because he's wrapped up, Tushin is able to go and get some good wards for his team.
Making making a move towards Marin now, and he has not been spotted, but immediately they both back off, as perhaps they're not 100% sure where the other members of the team is. Oh, I think it must have been the packets from Corky. They heard that. They're like, okay, no, we gotta back off.
Hopefully he does get caught up right there. Not the end of the world, though. Scuttlecraft not long for this world, and Infernal Drake is actually spawned. And just under 2 minutes. It's going to be high priority for both teams.
There are so many wards down around this area. Both teams can see everything.
Gold score is extremely close right now.
Yeah, very close game. And uh-oh, the rune on Soul. That's going to be nearly the end of his life. He does get away with a nice flash.
Flash and he'll use. Now Frika setting their sights on bottom lane. That's back with really nice wall time.
It's so much damage. Trying to get the follow-up kill onto Mowgli, but that was just a really fantastic play by Kongu to keep this turret alive.
Kruger dealing enormous amounts of damage. They're able to keep that bottom turret alive, but in 30 seconds, Dragon's going to be on the map. Roach doesn't have teleport, and he's spending his time killing golems. I don't know if he has to recall after that. I'm almost positive that he has to. If he goes up to top lane again, it's going to be a very big mistake. Okay, he is recalling. He needs to run down to Dragon, but the problem is that Marin has his teleport available, and he also has the luxury of staying up in top lane if he so pleased, but with the Frika being late to the party to get that vision control down.
Also, Marin has 2,000 gold, so he wants to go back and buy something, I would assume. Although he is staying in the lane.
Staying in the lane, they might be doing this because they say, hey, okay, if you can tie up Roach, we would rather trade that off. So if they don't get Roach, but we don't have you, they, you know, that's a better trade-off right now. So Roach is actually forced to come up to top lane. Marin does get his recall off. Gets frozen hard. Will certainly help not just against the Jin and the Jace, but also even against Misfortune.
Very nice pickup. And the Infernal Drake has spawned now, so both teams really posturing around there. You can see Rose is about to get his teleport up. Doing a nice bit of poke damage onto that turret, but will immediately back off. This is right there. Finally, Kramer's going to get it. Here we go. They are going to start it. Kongu right now. Immediately teleporting in, and there's the arrow, and it hits so right in the front. A huge pick off. Down he goes. That's going to be Infernal Drake.
Infernal Drake getting picked up there. Everything really just getting committed to make sure that Soul went down. Roach does pick up the turret up in the top lane, but that's a really nice trade still for Frika. Good for Kongu that they did get a tower, they get a little bit of gold off of it. They're even going to get some turret damage down on it as well. Never mind, Roach opts to back off. Rip Herald goes down. No longer on the map. MARIN going to be spawning soon, but that team really in a position to cheese it. It also is going to be extremely difficult for Kongu to try to get the Baron without a real tank. You can notice that Punch is actually itemizing even into tanky stats right now.
Tank Elise. Not something we see all too often. So 13 composition. Trying to make it work. Marin's chilling down the bot lane. You can see that Roach is going down to beat him. As Roach does have a teleport, Marin does not. But the teleport did open up that Infernal Drake for Frika. We're going to get some saplings down in that jungle, maybe throw down a ward.
Meanwhile, Marin posturing, looking for maybe something
Oh,
to happen.
there we go again. And Marin's right there. The arrow, the alley-oop. He needs a Marin picking up that kill. And so now this 5v4, Roach is bottom, but he does have his teleport. Let's see exactly what they want to do. Do they want to go for that Baron? Do they want to look for another kill, another pick? There was a ping that did go down onto the Baron, but they're not committing to it just yet.
A lot of these Ash arrows are just relieving a lot of pressure on Afrika and enabling them to go places against the control that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. So, oh, punch. Almost went down there, but Mobley couldn't quite find the kill. They're going to find themselves mid-tier 1 turret here. You can see that without that Jin and the current call, they don't really have a way to resist these pushes. And yeah, Jace keeps pushing. He's in a pretty big, or pretty sizable CS advantage, but doesn't really mean that much. That's about to come to an end soon. Maokai's going to be able to blow back.
They're really setting up for this again. There's no vision.
Oh no.
In the blue
Ash
side.
arrow almost up again.
Looks like they're waiting for that route. So we can get that guy again, right? Work twice in a row. Mobley waiting nearby and hand off the blue buff to Corky. And you can see they're taking it a bit safe. You know, they don't immediately go straight towards the Baron right after they get one kill. They're saying, okay, we can posture a bit, pick up a turret, we have the bot lane pushing once again with MARIN, we can rotate down there. So after all this, they're going to get 2 more turrets. And all of their members should have some bullets. They can go back and fine. They're going to be in a better spot next time if they get another pick to then go from there.
And see that they're just trying to control all of the lanes. They have to play this as standard as possible, and that's what I was talking about in the pick ban phase. When you look at Afrika's team composition, we're heavily relying on those Ash arrows, but even with the Ash arrows, it's a real pick comp. It's just something that they have to do.
See the early randomness there being made by Punch. He really wants to. I mean, if you look at the composition, you got Graves, Corky even, and the Ash that could be auto attacking that front line of these. So pretty nice pickup for him.
Carrying out vision. Now inside of Congo Monster's red side. Without MARIN though, it's extremely difficult to start that Baron. Next dragon of the game is another Cloud Drake, so it's not like Afrika stalling.
Oh boy, there's the stun, but able to get the Valkyrie just before that does proc.
MARIN keeping tabs.
Look at this.
On where Roach's movements were.
I thought maybe Kramer was rotating to go on to the base, but it's like, I just want to pick up that red.
I feel like this is the stage of the game. Oh, Roach. Barely flash whip. I feel like this is the stage of the game where Jace actually loses the ability to start bullying Maokai. And so now, Congo Monsters are going to be in a little bit more of a difficult situation, given that the split push option is no longer going to be available to them, especially as the game draws on. Maokai is just going to become unstoppable in that bottom lane.
You can see already so much armor built up. He finishes on Fire TBS into Tabby as well. Finally itemizing into a bit of MR. We'll have to do that as he begins to truly team fight later on. As we were saying, definitely hard for Jace to deal with for now.
MARIN throws a sapling. They're up the recall, he does.
So obnoxious.
Roach finally able to get the recall off. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. Mowgli looks like he's pathing that way. They might just pick it up because why not? And you can see the Congo Monsters, they don't really know what to do right now. Not that there's too much that you could do, but the problem is that this time around they're not going to have the luxury of their team composition to fall behind.
You can see they kind of know this is happening, question mark goes down, now they will know. But I don't think they were in a position to really test that either way. The next string, I'm not 100% sure what it is. And somehow, someway, Kuro able to take that blue away from Punch.
And kill all the punches with little fiber links. So, took the house and the kids with it.
I guess the next string is another Cloud Ray.
Not the best of dragons for Frika. Tonight's trades here at LCK. Extremely lackluster.
There's jet lag. The last lull we had was in Europe. Struggling to come back. Really now coming down bot, but Roche, he does spot this out somehow. Able to back off to safety. Here comes Kuro though, he wants to take a fight. He does not have exhaust, he's actually got cleanse this time, and oh, he's going to be spotted. But it doesn't look like Frika will go on into greet him. Oh, here it is again! He hits it again! Poor soul!
Oh man. These enchanted crystal arrows are just driving a knife right into the soul of Kongu monsters.
Specifically into soul, because he's been hit 3 times now, I think. 1 time onto Cougar.
Ending his career. And now, Roche.
Flash on in as well. He really wants to scale. And he used that gate to actually go the opposite way and really drag this one out. Jumping on into, picking up some farm on the way. And if Martin wasn't tilted before, well, this is pretty annoying to deal with as well.
Wow, okay, yeah, that's, I don't know if that was actually worth it at the end of the day. That was a very big commitment. You used the flash on your primary tank, an engage tool inside of Marin, flash on Kuro.
What do they get?
Yeah, you get a kill on the road, but it's not like this really opens up the ability to just get a clean Baron. Soul can definitely put on his curtain call, and then obviously Cougar has bullet time. So I guess what you get is temporary relief in bottom lane. Might even be able to get bottom lane turret. Never mind, Marin decides to just recall.
10 seconds. Left on Roche's death timer too. He definitely could have done a bit of damage, but maybe he wants to join up with this team here real quick. Just have the TP, he's waiting. There it is. Okay, they're gonna go for it here. And there is one more. There's a control word in there, so they don't know when they started. We're gonna have to check if they're on another one. So let's see now. Here comes the arrow, and it's Cougar. No bullet time. Just, yeah, but there's the burst dance coming on out. Oh, punch! Really nicely done. And only punch going down as well. Cougar stays alive, everybody else gets out healthy, and all of a sudden, this game isn't as decided. As we once thought. Baron going over to Kongu.
They pick up the Baron and manage to keep themselves in the game. And, I mean, that's exactly what Kongu Monsters needed right now, but what is it really going to do for them? Actually, Roche is going to be able to pick up a kill here on Kuro.
Yeah.
That's a very big pickup.
And so you have to think, I mean, he used his flash before to kill Roche, where, you know, it didn't open up too much. I suppose it kind of opened that up, but Roche was there for the Baron, so they weren't able to convert to the Baron fast enough to make it worth it.
Marin didn't have that flash available to him. He could flash over the wall and lock up punch.
There's a teleport coming in from Roche, and immediately just gonna turn on Mobley, and there you go. getting a bit out of position now. MARIN on the run. Oh, really nice deadly flourish. Can actually get this kill as the stun, the double kill going over to Roche. And here comes the massive push. Still 2 minutes left on this Baron.
They're going to be able to at least get an inhibitor here. You can see that Afrika don't have a way to resist this. I'm wondering if Kamdu are going to literally gamble on trying to end the game here. They might have a lot of minions.
That's a huge wave, and Kuro, he gets locked up too. That's a couple of really costly deaths in a row now, and here comes that push into the turret. Still 3 members of Afrika down, and they burn these turrets so fast. Already 30 minutes into the game. Now goes the massive Siren ult though. Roche just barely gets away. Heal gonna help him run. Oh, collateral damage takes down them. Roche still stays alive, but they do get the Nexus turret.
They got a Nexus turret and an inhibitor. Very gigantic pickups for them right now. It gives them a clear-cut window to win the game now if Afrika botches a team fight. Now, if you're looking at it from Afrika's point of view, they've made some very peculiar decisions in the last few moments here. Obviously, losing the Baron, not something that they would have wanted to have happened, but now they're not in a very good position. You have to wonder, do you even pick up the Cloud Drake right now, or do you just wait and let Kamdu pick it up so that it delays the spawn of the Elder Dragon? Well, I guess the answer to that is they do decide to take it. And Kamdu, they're not out of the woods yet. They're still going to have to fight Afrika straight up and hold all of their gold inside of that chase.
That's a big chase right now, for sure. 6-3 and 0. Not a single assist, funnily enough. Lots of farm. Kuro has to be so careful. He's been picked off a couple of times now, and with all these Baron buff minions, even if it is just for 10 more seconds. Can't get too close. That's going to be another turret going over to Kamdu. This is a really big Baron power play, as they go up about 3,000 gold on Afrika. Tushin. Good shot. What's the play here for Afrika? How do they engage on this? They can't just sit there and eat shot blast after shot blast, that's for sure. Both MARIN and Kuro do have their flash available. Mobley does not. Neither does Tushin.
Roche on that chase doing enormous amounts of damage. Every shot blast that he hits. Kramer, wow, even about 20% of Kramer's life off just a deadly flourish. You can see that Mobley even itemizing a little bit defensively. And the Sterax probably going to go Edge of the Night as his next item. Okay, just an endless barrage of poke coming out of Kamdu. And MARIN not even really looking for an angle into Kamdu, not wanting to point up a fight right now, not with how bottom lane looks.
Nice bit of damage. Oh, forced to use that package to dodge Deadly Flourish.
Top lane doesn't need to be responded to yet, we just see a ping go down onto it, but...
Oh, there's Poison Light and the Curtain Call coming out, and the bullet time. They're saying, okay, get away from this turret, it's ours. And it did a nice amount of damage, but the entire wave gets cleared out. Nice bit of counter poke from South. But now they have to respond to top.
Really like the Mobley. So that Roche couldn't press it on. And they made it for a minute here, and it's likely for this game. Picking up that final bot.
play. Especially because he can push so fast. Marin's with his team right now, so getting the jump on that. See Marin pushing forward, trying to look for something. At least they will get all the vision control around Baron. And now it's a Freakus turn.
They are on the clock though. You can see Marin now recalling. Oh!
Deeper and deeper into the jungle. It's making it even harder for Freakus to eventually counter that Baron play.
See the pain is going down on the bottom lane by Freakus. Okay, Marin doesn't take damage, but you see the ping is going down on the bottom lane. They bought themselves some time. And it's not like it's an open nexus, they don't have to be afraid of Roach teleporting into their base somehow and threatening a straight charge at it. And also, the inhibitor just came back up. So now Freakus in a really nice position right now, actually, to contest this Baron. See that Roach is trying to run down there. He wants to force a Freakus and say, hey, someone needs to come back to deal with me.
Yeah. It's a good play. Especially because he can push so fast. Marin's with his team right now, so getting the jump on that. See Marin's pushing forward, trying to look for something. At least they will get all the vision control around Baron. And now it's a Freakus turn.
They are on the clock though. You can see Marin now recalling. Oh!
Dodging that one real quick, but who's going to respond to bot lane?
Who's going to respond to Jace? He has a big minion wave with him. Oh, no. It's going to be a whoopsie daisy. Now Jace, the one with the teleport advantage, and what do you do? He can TP anytime he wants. All they have to do is play this song and dance a little bit longer. And they opt out of it instead. Roach runs all the way back. Don't know why they would do this. With the teleport advantage, it really just threatens.
And it showed a thing that everybody went back. Now, I mean, they have the teleport. Here's the curtain call. And that is a lot of damage. Look at how much Tushin is being chunked down. And with no Marin here to eat any of those bullets, it really does a ton of damage to any of those members. Now with the health of Mobley, Kuro, Tushin, everybody's below half. Marin, though, getting onto Cougar, the arrow hits punch actually in the back. There's the bullet. Oh, up a huge big one! Right onto Cougar to finish him off. Huge job by Kuro. Almost pays for it with his life. But that will win them the fight for now and buy them a little bit of breathing room.
Buys them a little bit of time. Elder Dragon actually coming up in about 10 seconds. Combo Monsters, though, they recalled and they have edge up in top lane, picking up all that gold. Looks like this fight is gonna. It almost feels like it's turning out to be very similar to game number 1. Oh, that's very big that Kramer stops that shot blast. Very ugly. Now, Afrika are the ones that are. They have position of the Elder. This is gonna be very awkward for Jin. Soul's gonna need to work a miracle. He doesn't even have the current call.
What can they really do? Look at the price damage. That's huge. I mean, you have Kuro, Kramer, Mobley, all these AD carries essentially shredding that Elder Dragon. Down it goes.
Look at bottom lane, they can't do anything with it. Kamdu, they had the teleport advantage. All they had to do was just stall a little bit, do a little song and a dance, and it would have been a checkmate. But they failed to execute, and this is their macro problems really coming to fruition.
And you can see that they're scrambling a little bit too. You know, they don't have a lot of vision around. Oh, here comes Marin. He could use the left flash. He's gonna come from behind.
Oh, this is it. The good old wraparound.
Yeah. Good taking a ton of damage. At least he does have PSS to get out of that one.
Nothing really accomplished there. However, Hungry Monsters have managed to actually get Afrika out of the river. I don't know exactly what I'm watching right now. This is very peculiar posture. You see the bottom wave going completely unresponsive to. Roach can't really hit anything. The arrow, though.
As USS comes out, he needs so much damage, and that really opens up the Baron here. Nice counterplay. This is the Cocoon, but Shock Blast is going to bring down Lily to about half health. Here comes Marin up from the other side, not quite able to get off the edge. The long wrap around all the way from the right side.
They might be able to just immediately. Oh, look at the damage, even from the sapling, because that true damage burns. And you can see Punch, he's going to need to be a hero one more time. He's going to want to keep Kamdu in this game.
Dution is running out of though, and with his advantage, oh, he might be able to kill him. He's really low. Down he goes Baron. Oh,
that's really big that he just lived.
Yeah.
If he went down right now, the death timers are the way that it is. That could have been catastrophic, especially because Punch is hovering on getting that Guardian Angel. Doesn't quite have it yet, I don't think. Well, he's sitting on the mountain. Could be waiting. Waiting for Samus to kick in. It did kick in. Pasco plus 200. He gets the Guardian Angel. And now, I mean, if Conquer Monsters, all that you have to do is somehow find an answer to this push. You see Marin, he's waiting. It's the long con yet again. Waiting for that teleport. Whenever he can make use of it.
He's going on top. Here it comes. And he's right on top of another ward. So they know he's coming in, so they immediately back off, even though he's a speed demon. They're going to get away. And they still do have that Baron, so a push going down mid. Corky, they have Ash rather pushing in top. And it looks like they're going to make the move towards top here.
Marin looking to make anything happen right now. At the same time, they can't get shoved in. Take a look at bottom lane, though, and the fact that Roach's teleport's almost coming up. If a team fight breaks out and it goes horrendous for Afrika, Roach can just teleport down bottom in the game.
Yeah. So it's really going to be up to Afrika to take a fight that gets horrendous, because they're in the driver's seat, they have the Baron, they can slow push this, they don't have to get out of control. Things going down the bot lane for Kamdu, they know, but can they actually make use of this? They shot blast on the Ranger at the back, they lock them lowly, and there goes the antenna crystal lateral wide, but take a look at the health bars of Kamdu Monster. The health number's very, very low.
Kramer might end up finding himself a job in the NFL once he's done with League of Legends. And right now they're going to have to pick up their bottom wave.
When you say they, I mean literally they, is 2 members go down because
I was like they're going to escort bottom together as a team, and Baron still has a little bit of time left on it. At least it should sustain until they drive that into the bottom tier 2 turret. But I mean, gold at this point in the game, let us be honest, it doesn't really matter at that point. If you look at everyone's items and stuff, almost everyone has 6 items. And so the little gold that's gained from actually capturing turrets doesn't really all mean that much.
So, just clearing out whatever they can on their way down to the bot lane. This is where the conflict will take place. 30 seconds left on Baron. That, oh, nice shot blast on both Kuro and Tushu. You can see they're trying to clear that way as much as possible. Look at the health on the turret. Here comes Marin. Oh boy, Roach. He doesn't have
gold.
Yeah. So what are they going to do now? They exhaust the Valkyrie, but there's really no hope. Tushin takes a lot of damage. Valkyrie is pretty low as well. But Kuro able to pick up the kill. Marin is busted there. And actually picking up the Zyra on the left side. Here comes Afrika. It's 4 versus 2 right now. Waiting for another wave.
The problem is with Roach going down, I realize that he's an all-their goal, but what I mean by that is he's all-their effective goal. He is their effective source of damage. Everyone else is utility, and now Kamdu are looking poised to fall near Afrika, turn their attention to the Nexus turrets, and it's probably going to be it, unless Punch can somehow find a miracle. Who's up an 8?
No, it's not going to be
It doesn't matter.
That's going to be it. It's easy. Game 2 going to Afrika as they take the pretty hard to take series there against Kamdu. Really tenacious play from them, but Afrika wins in the end. So.
And I like how Kongdu did approach the game. This is what I said that I would have liked to have seen them do. Take the aggressive lanes, take the aggressive matchups, and look to snowball their early game, because to be honest, their early game doesn't look as weak as their mid and late game transition. And it looks like Afrika almost drew them out to that stage of the game. And yet again, Afrika found a way to win in what should have been almost a guaranteed loss scenario. And so when you look at it from that perspective, yes, they won here today, but they're going to have to reflect on these games, because a little bit uncomfortable to watch, especially when you think about what's going to happen if Samsung or KT or SKT were in a position that Kongdu were in some of the mid and late game scenarios. It's not going to pan out as well.
Pearl is depressed after the 2-0 victory.
When he looks at that,
It's like, oh, I can't believe we almost lost the game to the Kongdu monster. Look at him.
he's so stressed.
Yeah. I mean, those were not easy games.
I'm trying to think if anything was really his. No, I don't think anything was really his fault.
No.
I could understand if that was Mowgli being like that, because he lost the Baron smite.
He's like, oh, I don't want to do the MVP interview. I'm really nervous.
Well, we're heading to the analyst desk in the MVP interview, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll be right back, guys. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Desk. I'm joined by New, as always. We'll be hearing from the 2 MVPs of the Afrika Freaks, but we're going to break down how King went first. So we got the results here. Lots of unexciting drakes, but Afrika really able to capitalize on a lot of the macro mistakes that Kongdu still has to shore up in order for them to really compete with the better teams in this league.
I'm actually really glad you brought up the Drakes, because now that I think about it, I don't think we've seen a single Mountain Drake
Nope.
in both series today.
Not a single one.
You know, who knows, maybe it might be one of those situations where the new patch deleted Mountain Drake off the game. Nobody knows yet.
Nobody realized yet.
Yeah, 3 days later, somebody's like, hey, something's off.
Yeah.
But really, looking at the damage chart, Kuro with another great performance with that Porky, and Roach coming out and taking more of a carry role in this game. The damage definitely adds up to it, but again, Kongdu Monster looking a little bit disoriented in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, they really need to, I don't know, talk about it more, figure out what they're doing wrong.
If you look at teams, well, let's look at the MVP first.
It's going to be great. We landed a lot of big Ash arrows. He missed a couple, but the majority of them were on point, and they really helped to propel Afrika into a pretty good spot in the big game.
A real soul chaser, I think. But going back to my earlier point, I wondered if the presence of a veteran player on the roster, you know, Afrika, Kuro winning the MVP here, he's an LCK champion. Maybe that experience comes up huge, and Kongdu Monster may be lacking some of that experience, but moving on to that interview, Kuro says he's very happy with the win, but a little bit disappointed because not a lot of changes in the standings, even with today's victory.
Waving to a fan in the process.
Kramer saying he felt really great in landing all those dash arrows in the second set, also gave him a lot of confidence and really enjoyed playing with that kind of confidence. So Kramer being asked, what's the difference between the first set and the second set? And Kramer says, basically after the first set, we kind of shared feedback and said, he said to himself, maybe I should be a little bit more calm and collected when I go for those arrows, and he says it feels like it worked out well. And speaking of his head coach as well, because the head coach did mention that he wants to give Kramer an MVP. He wants to see Kramer having a bigger impact on the game. Kramer basically saying the head coach gave him a lot of good words and advised him to be more productive in the games. So now we're going to take a look at Kuro's Cassiopeia highlights from set 1. And Kramer being asked, he did feature in that highlight a big starting it off with the dash arrow, and Kramer saying he basically kind of went for that one, but it ended up hitting. So it was a great setup for Kuro to capitalize on.